is a lawyer and a sociologist, which is a really interesting combination. And he did an ethnographic study that he turned into this book, Industry Unbound. And it's all about the time that he spent going into technology firms and interviewing people who are responsible for putting in place privacy. So these are people whose job it is to make sure that various forms of compliance happen in an organization. And what he found was really interesting. He found this huge gap in terms of people who were responsible for putting in place privacy and people who were building product. And it was really interesting because it just sort of highlighted how much of these silos are in place when it comes to these kinds of systems where people are building technology on the one hand, other people are responsible for ensuring that this technology meets regulatory requirements, and those kind of groups are not really talking to each other. And so that was kind of an interesting way of just kind of framing this work. What was also interesting about this book is that Waldman is quite critical of the people whose job it is to make sure that these products are private and that they're compliant. And his criticism really stems from this fact that he thinks we're looking at privacy too narrowly. So we're looking at privacy through this lens of control and transparency. And he talks about the fact that we have all this paperwork that proves that we're private, but really we haven't changed how privacy is enacted within companies. So this is a really accessible book. It was written by an academic, so there is a lot of methodology and research pieces to it, but I also found it to be a really interesting and accessible read.